I'm a witch in real life. I keep a cottage, and I'm basically like a walking Stardew Valley stereotype. So those are the kinds of games I like to play as well. I've almost 100%ed Stardew Valley. It's just the only achievements I don't have are the annoyingly impossible arcade machines in the bar. I have tried, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I can't get them. Oh, well, thank you for the compliment. You know, maybe if I played the arcade games on stream, it would give me the power to actually beat them, but I really doubt it. I got really far on the... One of them is where you're a cowboy and you're shooting zombies. I got really far on them, and then I got past the boss, and then there was another... It was like there was another whole... what's the term? Level of layers. Like there was like... I was only like a third of the way through when I thought I was almost done. So that was kind of demoralizing. So I haven't gone back to it yet, but I should. This is a base model of the artist who I'm saving up to get some more customizations made. So it's not custom for me, but it is very, very representative of me as a witch and as a person. So I feel very close to my model, and it makes like I'm connected with it very much. So what I'm doing right now, you might be wondering what's going on here. Although, you know, you can probably tell I'm working on taking my nail polish off. So this is the painting from our last stream. Goodbye, painting. You can't really see, it's hard to focus. I already mentioned that I picked the wrong base color for this design. So you live and you learn. And this acetone, I'm gonna, when you put it on the cotton pad and then clip it under, as it sits, it absorbs into the polish layers. And then you give it like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and then it'll come pretty much right off, or at least in two like if I put the cotton pad back on and let it sit another minute or so, then it'll come off. I very much would like to get it custom made. My model parent is the person who illustrated and rigged this model, so it's just gonna be a little bit before I can re-debut with that, and this is me in the meanwhile. I hope that's all right. Nice to meet you. I usually don't put the clips on both hands at the same time when I'm taking my nail polish off, only because then I have no hands. Then it makes it much harder to do anything. If I could, I would use my void hands, but let's see. No, they say no. They just give a little wave, a little wave. They can't help me here. They can't help me in this dimension. They can only help me in the void dimension. See, it's much harder. It's much harder to put the clips on while wearing them. I can get one on. So what am I going to paint today is a very good question. I am in the mood for a little bit of stamping some illusions onto my nails. So I picked out a plate with some illusion designs on them. And I picked out a number of different polishes. I got a couple pretty green ones. Teal. Can you guess what my favorite colors are? Can show these off up close. And I did get a magnetic. Wanted to do a magnetic. This polish is cool. This NYC polish is one of the oldest polishes I own. And I recently put some new thinner in it to wake it back up. And it's alive again. It's alive. It's alive. And I can use this in a design. I would say this polish is probably, let me shake it up. Let me think here. How old is this polish? It's got to be at least from before the turn of the century. So you could consider this as a vintage polish for sure. And I want to use it in something special, and I'm not quite sure what yet. So I'm not sure if this is the one I want to use. I always wish that I was one of those people who like sat down and like planned out exactly what I'm gonna do on my nails, like made a design and all that. But I enjoy chaos. I enjoy chaos. Oh, there we go. You see? Came right off. So I kind of enjoy the process of like planning a little bit, you know, picking out polish, getting inspired, and painting along the way and sort of seeing what happens. And sometimes it doesn't work out, like last week. And it's good when you take your nail polish off to examine your nails to see if there's any damage. And I do see a little spot, I don't know if you can, where it looks like there's a layer in there. You can probably barely see it. But nails are a lot like wood. Let's take the polish off this one. So if you bump them or bend them or anything, wow. I often want the free edge of your nail can be destabilized and can have breakages and things. So that's what I'm looking for. Okay. This is so satisfying when it all comes off in one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You recently created your girlfriend's VTuber model. Oh. And their VTuber models emote and they really like it. Oh, that's so nice. That's really nice relationship stuff. My partner is a bear. You know that stereotype about women, like they would rather marry a bear or whatever. I mean, it's not that bad being a partner to a bear. They do a lot of stuff. Like last night we had fish for dinner. That was pretty good. I might not be able to check that out right now since I'm doing this with my nails. But I appreciate the offer. So yeah, so bears don't really know how to make VTuber models that much. Okay, last nail. And since these other con pads have acetone on them, they're starting to stick to my nails. They're getting little fuzzies on my nails. That's funny. Okay. I have a little bit of indigo staining on my cuticles and nails because earlier when I was painting my tarot box. Oh, yeah, let's put, yes, earlier when I was painting my tarot box, the purple pigment just like exploded. It just went everywhere. And it got on my hands, sort of stained my hands. So I have just the slightest bit. You won't be able to tell. That's the nice thing about having a barrier between me and the internet is I can see the very fine details that you can't see. Oh, go for it. I'm all ears. So I have to still put the acetone on these fingers so I can take these off. So I have just a couple more minutes, and I do see some damage on one of my nails that I need to fix. So I'm gonna do a little patch on that. Ah! I'm gonna do a little patch on that. What about Beth? We're in the club right now. Has anybody here seen the movie from the 90s, Hackers? Please tell me there's somebody who's seen the Hackers. It's one of my favorite movies, favorite cult movies, I should say. With Johnny, well, Angelina Jolie's in it, and Johnny, I'm so bad with names. Johnny something, he's the main guy. What's his character's name? It was so silly. It was Iceburn. I'm really bad with names. Sorry. Now here's one naked hand. Ooh, check it out! Don't look, it's naked. Don't look, it's naked. So here's the damage. You can see that redness. I don't want to show it too close. There's just this slightest little crack there. No, not this music. Let's go back. I want to go back. Oh, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. I'm just getting started doing my nails. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm not able to check any messages right now. I'm just getting started. I'm taking the polish off of my nails. I have to do a little bit of a patch on one of my nails because I have a little bit of damage. And so that's what I'm gonna get out here. It should be pretty easy to patch. It's very shallow, and I'm hoping that with the patch on it, that it'll give it more structural integrity to grow out until it's past the free edge. And then once it's past the free edge, I can take a file, this file, and file it all the way down, so it'll basically keep it from breaking, because that's what I don't want. It's already damaged and I don't want it to get worse. So I'm gonna use these three things here. I have some super glue and nail powder. And you would think that it would be fancier than that, but it's really not. The nail repair powder is like acrylic powder. So it's what acrylic nail artists, or no, excuse me. It's what nail dip artists might use. But this specifically is for binding the nails. So it's a little different than the dip polish that nail dip artists use. And what that is I know I'm getting off on a wicked tangent with this, but nail dip is like a type of nail polish where the polish is very similar to a powder, and you kind of just put a glue on your nail. And usually it's not just like super glue. This is literally super glue, but you can get nail glue that's a little safer on your nails. It's easier to take off. And so then those artists, they apply the glue to the nail and then dip it in the powder, and then like buff it and put a top coat on and all of that, so that it looks nice. But the idea is that it's it lasts a really long time, because it's like you're binding it to your nail basically by gluing it on there, and It's very similar to gel in that way, where it lasts forever. Lacquer polish, what I use, it can chip pretty easily because it's just a surface level thing. It's not really bound to your nail as much as something that's like super glued on there is. Okay, I don't really need a lot. I'm just putting the tiniest little bit of super glue on the end of this, and then I'm gonna dab it in there, trying to avoid my cuticle so this super glue only stays on the nail. And then dip my nail into the powder and give it a little blow it off. Arm flesh. Okay. Just smoothing it out. I'm gonna poke at it a little bit, maybe put a little bit more glue on. I'm just getting like the tiniest little bit of glue on the tip of this orange stick. It's funny they call them orange sticks, but I believe that's because it's not because they're colored orange or anything. I'm pretty sure the wood itself is orange wood, so that's why they call them orange sticks, because it's orange wood. All right, okay, so these nails should be ready to go. If you're unfamiliar with me, I am very clumsy. I'm so prone to knocking everything over, everything in the world. And I gotta make sure that the lids are on, or else I will knock these things over. And as you can also see, I have open flame behind me, so I'm very safe. I'm very safe. I have knocked this powder over. I don't know. It's got lots of hair in it from when I've had to clean it up. Oh, thank you for the follow. I am Witchy Lauren with an O instead of an AU on Twitter. All right, let's get this money shot. Wow. These should all be good. Wow. Okay. So back to design. Thinking about design. I want to do a stamping design, like I said, with an illusionary design. Checking my nails over. And then I guess I don't have a design for my other hand, so I'll have to come up with one. Just throwing away these cotton pads. I can use one cotton pad for 2 hands, which is a pretty good use, but after that they kind of just get crusty and they're not really used to. Once I get to my computer, I might be able to check some things, but I won't be able to check anything while I'm streaming. I'm locked in, my friend. I am locked in. Blech! I'm spazzing a little bit. Ignore the spasms. You saw nothing. Okay. Let's get the regular acetone. I have 2 different acetones. One of them is for taking nail polish off, and one of them is just straight acetone for cleaning when you're painting. So let's see here. So I'm gonna actually grab one of these old cotton pads. This is what they're used for cleaning. Useful for cleaning out your dip basin like this. Yeah. And then I'm gonna use this to tidy up my silicone pad. Might as well. Any old paint crusties, trying to get those off. Tidy. It's good to clean as you go. It's just like cooking. It's good to clean up your kitchen space as you're cooking. Helps keep things together. especially for food, helps keeps things clean and safe. Okay. Set those tweezers aside. Now I'm gonna check our box is sticky. It's sticky, but it's drying. In fact, I might be able to hold it. Oh yeah, it's actually very dry. It's doing really good. Can you see the shimmer? Maybe here. Bit. Just a bit. Much easier to see in person. Oh, that's pretty shimmery. Ooh. Okay, so I just need a little bit more of this to paint with. And then this can go to the side. I do like the idea of using one of these special effects polishes. This one is gorgeous. Look at this. This is a reflective polish by Bee's Knees Lacquer. Let's give it a shake. Shake everything. Earthquake! 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 I should actually shake it behind the camera. Okay, then, so the reflective means that direct light, I mean, it's like a reflective thing, like you would see on the highway or whatever, but in pigment form. So it is so shiny and bright and blue. You barely need anything extra to go with it. Love it. So I do think I want to wear that. And then this is a holographic. So it has rainbow colors in direct light. Rainbow. Get that. Oh, getting close. You can see that there. Ooh, yeah. And this is called In Living Color by DRK Nails. This is from a special polish box called Polish Pickup from 2022 is when I got this one. So this is a couple years old now. Most of these are, you know, they're not all recent purchases. Some of them are older. You would call this a multi-chrome because it has two colors. But I'm wondering about this pink as well. Maybe a Skittle where we do a different color on each finger. We could use these colors. And then this is a magnetic polish. It's a magnetic top coat. And I can show you how it reacts with this magnet. You put the magnet on the polish and it should come together. I might need a stronger magnet. Let me see. Do I have my strong magnet here? I do. Gotta pull it off. It's so amazing. This is 5 neodymium magnets stacked together in a paper clip. So this should work. If this doesn't work, nothing will. I'll have to show you a different magnetic polish. I have had kind of trouble with this one in the past. Maybe this is a sign I shouldn't use it because it's... Oh, I know what's going on with this. I know what's going on with this. This is a holographic magnetic polish, which is an unusual combination. Usually a holographic is just like its own thing because holographic is just like if you pull cards and you've ever seen like a holographic, like a Pokemon card. This uses the same pigment as that, but in nail polish form. And what's unusual about this polish is that magnetics and holographics don't usually go together. And there's something about the magnetic property or the holographic property that causes the holo pigment to like die over time, like erode or degrade. And you can kind of see a little tiny magnetic line there. You see that separation in the pigment? That's the magnetic pole. But I'm pretty sure that this polish is kind of dying. I hate to say it. So it's not gonna work the way I want. So I'm gonna have to actually grab a different magnetic polish. So I'm gonna go do that. And then I will also grab my horseshoe magnet, which is what I want to use for this manicure. So I'm looking at my... Oh, that's pretty. Maybe I'll pull a couple of these to see which one I want to use. I feel like a little polish goblin. I'm like... Got my potions. Got my polish potions. Here I come with my polish potions. I just grabbed it random. Move this over here. Trying not to spill. All right. So you should be able to see. I'm gonna shake it up, because you gotta shake up the pigments. And polishes usually come with little beads in them to help shake them up. They're like little ball bearings. And they can be just different sizes based on what the makers buy for their polish. They're usually this same small, like, gosh, I wouldn't know how small they are in there. But it helps mix them up when you shake them. All right, so this should be much more obvious when I show you. So I'm gonna put the magnet on. Try not to get too close to my phone because it's not good for your electronics. And now you can see. Much easier. This is got a magenta base and a blue magnetic pigment. Say that 10 times fast. Magenta polish base with a blue magnetic pigment. Pretty. What else we got? We got a green with more green. You see the magnetic pigment moving around while I move the magnet? Isn't that fun? I like that. I like that. Almost like a dragon's eye. And I do believe this is green and blue. Yep. Oh no, blue and green. Blue and green. I had a backwards. Ooh, yeah. I actually used this one recently. I'm remembering it. I really like this one. I've used this in the past. That red line is just so striking. So this one has like indigo base and a magenta magnetic line. You can have all kinds of different combinations. That's how it gets so easy to get into polish collecting, because then you're like, ooh, this one is so unique. Oh, ooh, this one, oh. This is like a purple and blue. Okay, so I have a collection of those there. Those are much better colors. Need to take a drink of water. Okay, all right. So this is a stamping polish that I want to use. It's a nice navy, deep blue navy. I don't really support this brand, so I'm just gonna say that as a four note that Maniology is transphobic and has some problems. So I just don't support the brand, but I have the polish because I bought it before that became public, and you know, a general consensus amongst nail polish people is if you bought it and you have it, you know, you've already spent the resource. It's fine to use it. It doesn't make sense to throw it away. And I got a couple plates out. These are stamping plates. Oh, welcome in, Emerald. Yeah, they are so mesmerizing, aren't they? It's just like, I feel like a dwarf mining my gems, or a goblin with all my goodies. So I pulled out a couple plates. These are stamping plates, so I call them plates, just as a shorthand. I'm looking for these kind of illusionary designs. That's what I want to use. So I want to do a base with magnetic. So I'll pick a magnetic polish, and I want to do it glass bead style. Yeah, treasure trove. Yeah, I have some of them on my wall on display, and I have a curtain that surrounds them because there's a window, and I don't want the UV to damage the polish. You for the most part want to be like an actual goblin in a cave without any sunlight, fully vitamin deficient, you know, hoard or goblin hoard or treasure hoarder. But I am preventing that by having a curtain around my shelf of polish that keeps them hidden. But it makes it even more fun to go, and then you get to open the curtain and see the polish there on display. I love it so much. Okay, I have this little Lego thing that I'm gonna use. I built this. Not that it's like a fancy thing or anything, but it is what I'm going to use for my magnetic polish. So I will show it off when I get to that step. This is my little friend. His name is Crabnut. He looks like a little crab, but he's just a horseshoe magnet. So he's a horseshoe crab. At the top left, these are books of stickers. I do some sticker art just as a crafting, creative, fun practice. I'm pulling one out right now. This says my, let me get a tool to open this. Never use your nails as tools. Where's the... I've tricked myself. Aha! I've tricked myself. Trying to find the... It's a little bit of an illusionary... Here we go. Here we go. Opening. Hold on. It's stuck. I think it's stuck because I did just do... Oh, come on. I did a layer of a... Oh, it is really stuck. I'm gonna have to fix that later. Let me show a different one. This is a good one. This has my nail polish powders in it. Since it's shallow. For the most part, it's just like a fun little crafting practice that helps me find ways to reuse things like these boxes. I'm not saving all of these boxes that I come across, but I save the ones that I think would look nice with different designs, and then that's its own little crafting practice. So these books have a lot of the stickers in them. All right, back to these plates. Here we go. So these two plates are really nice because they have most of the typical illusion designs on them. If you're seeing this white stuff, that's like the residue from when it was cleaned the last time. All right, there's a couple more stamping supplies I'm gonna need, but I'm not gonna be getting to that phase for a while still. And first, I'm going to do the base coat with magnetic. So this is what we need. So I need to push this up here, get a little bit more space. Okay. Just reorienting myself. I don't think I want to use the green one. This is not magnetic. This is as well. Let's look at this color again. That could be good. You know, I like this purple. I think I'm gonna go with purple. It's interesting. These two nail polishes are actually opposites of each other. So if we take a look at them, see, this one is like a purple with a red magnetic line, and this one is sort of red with a purpley blue magnetic line. That's fun. Magic. It's magic. It's magic. I could use both of them. I could just do different nails. And then I'll just use those two. So I'll set these three other ones aside. So this little doohickey is the top-down view. The top-down view is a little funny. Let me pick it up. So you can see there's this guy hanging here, and it spins. And this is how you get a certain effect with the magnetic, because the crab net with the little googly eyes is the magnet. He's a horseshoe magnet. So I'm just being silly when I call him a crab. That's what he reminds me of. So let's just jump right in. So I'm gonna do a base of this one of these, this purple one, I think, and I'm gonna magnetize each layer. So I'll paint my nail, and then yeah, horseshoe crabs. He's like a horseshoe crab net. It really does look like a crab. So let's see. So I'm just gonna paint on. I don't think I'm gonna paint a base coat, or should I? Yeah, let's do a base coat. I'm gonna do a gray base coat, so it'll kind of prime my nail for the magnet color. Come on. If I can get it open. There we go. This is just a regular old... yeah, he's a friend. It's a funny little guy. I have a little gif of him doing a crab rave. Okay, so this is the part where I start to lock in, because I'm like so focused on trying to avoid getting the polish on my cuticles. But it's not a problem if it does. I can grab a stuff in my way paintbrush, and that's what this little pot of acetone is for, is to... So like here I got a little tiny bit on my cuticles, you can barely even see it, and then the acetone brush will just clean it up. And I'll do that for each layer essentially to make sure it stays off of the cuticle. It doesn't harm the skin or anything. Yeah, I'm super locked in. It's not like gel polish. This is lacquer polish, and it'll just air dry. Compared to gel polish, you need a UV machine, like a little light lamp. I have one of those, and I've tried gel polish before, but I find that the process, if you're not very skilled and like professionally trained, you can very easily damage your nails or your skin, or even accidentally get an allergy from the gel polish, which is a thing that can happen if you're inexperienced and getting the polish on your skin specifically. You can develop an allergy, but not this stuff. That's a gel polish. This is different. This is lacquer, and like I said, it has a different drying process, but it doesn't really matter if it gets on your skin. So with gel polish, just to finish that thought, some people can develop an allergy. It's not a guarantee, and it can only really happen with repeated exposure to the gel acrylic material. So it's best if you do like it in gel polish done on your nails, because I know it's a nice look. Like some of those artists are amazing. They do really creative things. Probably best to go to an experienced technician, and you want to be sure your technician is somebody who knows what they're doing, because they can harm your nails if you're just going to like some random person and you don't know anything about their work. So be careful out there if you're just going to walk into some place. Yeah, gel polish is like the most popular thing, but lacquer polish has a community and is pretty popular for what it is. Yeah, none of this is gel polish. I can show gel polish sometime in the future. I don't know if I would do it on my nails, but I do have those nail tips that you can paint on, that are the ones that you can either apply to your nail with gel polish, so that's something you can do, is add like a layer over the top, or you can just apply them with like a glue, that's why they call them press-ons, because like in the past they used to be sticky on the back, and then you would just apply them on your nails because they're already sticky. But that's a lie. They will fall off immediately. Essentially, you have to be so careful with that kind of press-on. A real press-on is one that you apply with a nail glue, very similar to the dip nails that I was talking about earlier. So this is just base coat. I know it's like gray. It makes me look like, I'm a zombie now. But that is the worst zombie sound I have ever made. Okay, I can do better than that. Brains. That was better. That was a good take. All right. I'm gonna do this hand too, since I have this base coat out. I am still not sure what I'm gonna do on my other hand, but I'm really drawn to that reflective blue. I think I said a skittle, and a skittle is just where you do a different polish for your nails, each nail. You can do it in different patterns. A typical skittle is done in an if you're picking 5 polish, so it would be one for every different nail. But you can also pick only 4 or only 3 or only 2 polish and still call it a skittle. And if you picked, let's say you picked 2 polishes or whatever, you label them A and B, so you would call it like an A-B-A-B-A skittle, based on what each finger is. So you could theoretically have an ABBA skittle. Let's see. I always thought the fun colors and metallics and gel polish. Yeah, happy to learn that they can be lacquered. They absolutely can. Yeah, there are many different brands out there. And like you'll see, these colors are, some of them are just worth wearing on their own. I know a lot of artists who just like to wear the polish on their own. They don't add any art on top. And there's different ways to do art as well. like the stamping that I'm gonna do on one of my nails, and then of course just like freehand painting, which a lot of nail artists do as well. I've seen some beautiful summer arts popping up, lots of like bees and flowers themes, and I keep bees too, so I should probably join in on that trend. I even have a bee sting that is still healing. It's on week 2 and it's still healing. I can't believe it. I'm gonna be ready for that to be gone. I have not been stung in 10 years of keeping bees. 10 years! I haven't been stung. I've had bees in my hair and chased me with bees in my hair, but I didn't get stung. And then this time, I wasn't even in the apiary. I wasn't even doing anything near the bees. I was feeding the chickens, actually. And I don't know, it must have just like hopped onto me because I was fully inside and my dogs were looking at my leg like, there's something going on there. I wonder what that's about. And I'm like, why are they sniffing my leg? And then all of a sudden I got stung. And I was like, oh, that's why they're sniffing my leg. There's a bee on me. That's great. It felt not too bad when it stung me. It felt like I've had acupuncture before, but it was a little bit more intense than acupuncture. It was kind of like getting a vaccination. Yeah, it was kind of like getting, you know, an injection. That's what it felt like. Yeah, I hope it heals. I think it's in the healing process. It started to itch again. It hadn't been itching, and then it started to itch again. And I think that wasn't like the venom. I think that was the itching feeling of healing. You know what I mean? Like when your whatever injury starts to heal and it gets itchy. I think that's what's happening, and that's a good sign. So I'm just trying to leave it alone. I mean, it is healing. It hasn't had any problems, so I'm thankful for that at least. Woohoo! I'm on the last space coat. Woo! Moving right along. So I'm gonna start with the magnetics on my left hand because they take a little bit of time. You have to make sure that the magnet is up near your nail while the polish dries, because you want the magnetic particles to dry in the position that you're trying to magnetize them. So that's what this guy is going to help me with, is shaping the magnet on my nail. Gel polish people definitely win when it comes to magnetic polish because they can orient the magnet however they want. It won't matter, and then they can dry it. So like they can continuously mess with the gel polish, and it's like a oil paint, you know, in the way that it'll still be wet until they cure it. This stuff dries once it's applied. So as soon as you apply it, it starts drying. So I don't have the luxury of messing with the polish too much. They can do all kinds of crazy things. They can get magnets that have like different shapes, like hearts and whatever you could think of. But if I want to do that, I have to use a different method. One method is where you apply the polish to the silicone mat that I have right here and do the design on the mat. And okay, all right, I'm just gonna spin this guy, and then you let the design dry on the mat, and then you basically peel it off and cut it to the shape of your nail. Spin from here. Oh, that's much better. yeah, you cut it to the shape of your nail, and then apply it with, you can just use like sticky base coat works. They sell those in lacquer polish where it's slightly sticky on your nail, so you can apply things to it. Gotta keep spinning. And yeah, once it's dried, you can make it in any shape that the magnet comes in, and then you don't have to worry about that drying factor. But I can't really shape like a heart or anything on my nails the way that this works. It's not a perfect system. This is such a homemade thing. But I think it's more fun than the systems you can buy. The systems you can buy, like, yeah, it's gonna make a perfect design on the nail. It's not as fun. All right, let's take a little look. Let's see if this is done. What has this done so far? He spins, it spins. Check it out. It's a good base layer. It's a good base layer. Like a laser almost. It's like a laser. So I can see the way I'm positioning my nail is also guiding how the magnet pigment dries. And my nail also curves. It's not perfectly straight, you know, it has a curve to it, so it also changes how the magnet shows up. So usually I look at it like this, but it's starting to accumulate, like the magnet is accumulating over here. So on my next layer, I need to make sure I turn the nail so I get an even application. All right, next one. So I'm gonna do AB. So I'm just using 2, so I'm gonna use the second one on my pointer finger. Hey, get as close as I can. I am getting a bit of it on my cuticle, but I will clean that up after, at the end, only because I have to be fast. I have to get this underneath the magnet right away. All right, there we go. Can you see it spinning? So where you place the nail will influence how the magnet shows up on this. There's also other ways to use this horseshoe magnet, which gives it what's called a velvet look. So this is a glass bead method, and you know what, I could try the velvet look on my other hand with a different polish. That could be cool. I like the velvet look. The glass bead look is okay because it can be tricky. And the way Little Krabby moves, he kind of moves around like crazy. All right, you can see some good. So this one is blue, and that's the difference. Not committed to do it yourself. Maybe you put it on after this. Yeah, I mean, and it's also fun just to watch. That's a good enjoyment. Oh, earthquake! I encourage you to check out like places like Target, or I hate this one. Regular box stores will have a fair assortment of nail polish. It's not going to be too different from a Sephora or any other beauty box chain. If you want to find something a little more unique than just like a Revlon polish, I would recommend, if you were going to a box store, I would recommend Ulta. Only because I know that they carry Holo Taco. Oh, I'm gonna get confused between these. And Holo Taco is a decent corporate indie brand, and it's cool that there is a corporation. Yeah, Galaxy. Okay, so left is blue, right is red. Left is blue, right is red. Great. Make this over here. So I need the red now. And Hollow Taco is a cool brand because they have a lot of these special effect polishes, including some magnetic polishes. So if you wanted to find some in person, I would recommend that. Or Sally Beauty sometimes carries, I'm just bumping everything right now, some nicer polishes, but even Sally Beauty I find has about the same stock that a Target would, just like a regular corporate would. So honestly, if you were to just go to like a Sally or a Target, there are still a few nice polishes, just a few that I like. For the most part, what you're gonna find is just regular cremes or creams. And those colors are, I'll show you in a second. They are just a flat color, no special pigments. So just like any regular color, any regular paint. And that's fine. Like lots of people like cremes. They're popular for a reason. But I'm an extra kind of a person. I like lots of extra yummy, goody, yummy, delicious looking polishes. Okay, so we got two going. Good base coats looking. And they do have, I have found some shimmer polishes from some main brands, like this is Zoya. Well, like you can find this at an Ulta, you can find this at a Sephora, you can sometimes find this at a corporate brand. So they do have like shimmers, and you can put a shimmer on top of a creme and get a new color. So like this pink shimmer, you could put on top of this blue and have this like really pretty light blue with like a little pink shimmer. So you can go far with looking for base colors and then just a few toppers. This brand is a special brand, but this is an example of a topper. This is little snow particle effects. So these are just white glitters, and they have the slightest bit of shimmer to them, but you can picture putting that on top of a creme, and then all of a sudden you have a new polish. And like this one, this is that same brand. This is Pinnacle Polish. And this one I love because this one's called Witch's Brew. So of course I love it. And it's like a real chunky rainbow hex glitter mishmash hodgepodge. And this is exactly the kind of thing that you would just put on top of a creme to get looking like something extra. Just a little bit extra. So you could have like 5 different colors with 1 or 2 toppers, and that's easily, okay, I can do math. What is that, like 10 different combinations, 20 different combinations? I told you I don't do good with numbers. Me dumb. Me paint good. Me paint good on me cave. Me paint good. Crabnet, you are so in the way. The acetone is directly in the way. I can't like get. It's just like when your dog is on the bed and is starting to fall asleep and is just taking over and pushing you out of the way of your own bed. That's what Crabnet is doing right now. I've been having that experience with one of my dogs recently. He is so close to graduating his cone. He's gonna have a graduation. Yeah, he has the cone on right now, the cone of shame. He didn't do anything, and he's already spayed? Neutered. He's neutered. Long time ago. But he must have been playing too hard, and he got a scratch on his eyeball. Yeah. And that was unfortunate. We had to go to the vet, and like he's been in the cone now for 2 weeks, but it's been healing really well. I take him tomorrow to find out if he's not gonna be conehead anymore. But of course, now that he's not feeling good, he's been baby mode, and just like a couple times he's like sneaked on the bed in the middle of the night. And we have a smaller dog, his brother. His brother usually fits on the bed before bedtime. He gets cuddles, he gets snuggles, and then we go to bed and he goes to his bed. And so for reference, the dog with the injury, his name is Poe, and the smaller dog is Atlas. And it's not like I don't snuggle with Poe. Left blue. Oh, I'm so Emerald, I am so glad you wrote that down. I am so glad you wrote that down, because I'm immediately like looking for it. Yeah, the cone of healing. Yeah, he gets snuggles. It's just that he's very, very big. He's like a lab German Shepherd pit mix. So he's got 3 different things going on, and his head is giant. And it's even worse when he has a cone on. So when he's sneaking up in the middle of the night, I thought he was Atlas, and I was just like half asleep and let him come onto the bed. And then all of a sudden I find out there's this giant dog on the bed with me, and he's like pushing me out. He's pushing me out of the way. That was fun. All right, I'm gonna do 2 layers immediately, only to get a more of a thickness when I'm magnetizing, because it does take a little bit of a thick layer to get a nice magnetic effect. That's what I will be doing. I'll be doing second layers on the other nails once we get through this process. Spinning. Ooh, a good song. Ooh, some. I know what to play. Wonder if I can pull this up. No, I'm getting too distracted. I want to put on Loituma. I want to put on the polka. Loituma. I can't do it. I have to focus. Especially since it's thicker, I have to spend a little bit more time doing the spinnies, doing the magnetization, so that the magnet sets. As the point of this is to get the magnet pigment inside the polish to set into this round glass bead design. So by spinning the magnet, you're kind of focusing the magnetic force of the horseshoe magnet into a circular pattern. And if you stop, it won't stay. Gotta keep spinning. That's what some of these fancy spinners are, like electric. You just press a button and put your finger underneath it. I think I've seen some that are like you can do 5 nails in one. Really fancy. So he'll heal. I'm pretty sure he'll be graduated tomorrow. It was only a very small spot on the eye was left when we saw the doctor last week. And he's looking pretty good. I'm sorry that he hurt himself to begin with. Okay, so that's really good. You can see the difference between the amount of polish on the nail between my pointer finger and my index finger. How much of a color difference there is. And the polish is starting to spread on this finger, because as it dries, it'll be less concentrated. So you can actually see the difference in the spread in the polish. So that little dot on my index finger is going to start to spread as the magnetic pushes outwards. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can actually see it happening in real time. That the spot on my index finger is getting larger, and it'll start to spread to look similar to this one, where the spread is much more prominent. And it's part of the aesthetic of the polish is to get that spread, but you also want a tight circle on your nail to keep the shape. So it's a kind of a balance to make sure you are getting the shaping right. Clean up some of this spillage. There we go. Yeah, 9. Well, it might not be spins. I might be misremembering it. It might just be like regular magnets that you can put your finger on, but you can do all 5 at once. Because even just using the regular magnets like this takes a good amount of time. Whoa! Uh-oh! Crabnet is running away! It's running away! Oh, that's strong. Okay, I gotta put this over here in the safe zone. All right, Krabby, you gotta go back. You gotta go back on the doohickey. Oh no. Hold on. I'm starting to lose dexterity as more of my nails get polished. I have less of ability to use my hands. I have no hands. That's kind of what I love about this too, is like I could take it off of there and I could use it for other purposes. Like it's kind of just fun that it's Lego. It's fun to put together too. I'm just kind of squishing it on there so it stays. All right. Okay. Now let's see. It's been a minute, so let's see how the spread is looking. Yeah, that's bigger. That circle has definitely gotten bigger. But you can see the effect on this nail is much more prominent. That's kind of the packed amount of magnet that I want. That's the effect that I want, versus this spread is a little bit too much of a spread. So I'm gonna try to get it more focused on the second layer. Yeah, caught a friend and Crabnet went fishing. All right. I'm still trying to remember which is left is right. I also have dyscalculia, which is a term that reminds me of Count Chocula, but it also means that I have trouble remembering which is left and right. And so left is blue, so right is red. Great. Blue, red, blue pill, red pill, blue piece, red piece. I take a blue pill and go to the amusement park. If I was Neo and like I knew the Matrix was just like a simulated world, I feel like it would be kind of similar to like a Groundhog's Day kind of situation, because you would kind of recognize that you're just, you know, if you took the blue pill is what I mean. Like if he had taken the blue pill instead of the red pill in the Matrix, maybe he could have still had his powers, but also like the freedom to do whatever he wants. Or maybe he would just go back to being a corporate slave imprisoned. It's curious. Like, I guess the difference would rely or depend on whether he had his Neo powers. So, I mean, I guess part of the movie too is that he goes through the whole process of learning. Well, learning is in heavy quotations. He gets all of his programming uploaded into him so he can know things like martial arts. So he probably wouldn't be able to do anything if he had taken the blue pill, since he wouldn't have powered up by then. That's a shame. Now, I don't know if anybody here has seen any of these movies, but I've seen all of the Matrix movies, including the last one, which I actually adore. I'm like the only person on the planet who likes the Matrix 4, whichever, what was it? Resurrection? Was it Resurrection? And the reason I like it is because it's like a big middle finger to the studio from the directors themselves. Or was it only Lana? Were they both involved? My memory is shoddy, and I have slight memory that it was only one of them that returned for the last one. But whichever of the sisters it was, really incorporated into that script, like just like a lot of meta commentary about the studio sort of milking the franchise to this point where even, you know, 20 years later, they're wanting to make another one, even after 2 and 3 was critically panned. So the Wachowski wrote a lot of narrative that really seemed pointed at the production itself, at least as somebody who's like, I'm a really big movie buff, and I know a lot about movies, so I can kind of read between the lines there. But beyond that, I mean, besides that, there was also a lot of narrative about Trinity gaining the same powers as Neo. And in the end, they both kind of ride off into the sunset. I'm so sorry about spoilers. I know you probably weren't expecting to be spoiled, Matrix 4 spoilers in your life ever. But in the end, they ride off into the sunset, flying away, and Trinity has the same powers as Neo. But it really kind of seemed like commentary about the Wachowskis' own experience transitioning, because it kind of seemed to be, to me, a narrative about Neo leaving behind Neo's like past identity and becoming this new version of themselves in Trinity. And I know that's probably very personal to the Wachowskis, so I know people didn't like that movie, but I saw that narrative and I thought, well, you know, they can give it to the studio and also still have some kind of a powerful message in there. But most people didn't seem to get that. You somehow chose to dodge them all. You know, yeah, that might be the right choice. That might be the right choice. Leave them in the past. I don't know if I would ever revisit them. Maybe just the one Matrix. That it's fine on its own, Matrix 1. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I think I'll go ahead and start on the second coat on these, because I do want the polish to be malleable, as in not fully dried when I'm doing the second coat. That's because, well, the new layer of polish will reactivate the lower layer, and I want the particles, all of the pigments, to pull together into one circle. And if I don't get the positioning right, that can be difficult if it's too dry. So I want to make sure I'm doing it while it's still somewhat wet. I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup before that. I'm going to do the cleanup, and then I'm just going to immediately start getting them all messy again. Hell yeah, that's the process. That's how we do it. Yahoo! Okay. Okay. Left blue. I remember left blue. Okay. So get position. I kind of want to scoot this. The thumb is really tricky to do. You have to actually lift it up because of hand positioning. So it can be kind of like a timeliness factor, getting the polish on and then getting into position before it dries. That's why I'm jealous of gel polish people, because they don't need to go through any of this. There's no necessity of like speed for them. They can take their time. Don't panic. And because it's at an angle, it also affects how the magnet dries. That's why it was in a different position before. Okay, but I think I got the position good. I think I got a nice spot here. Yeah, second layer. Thank you. I did remember. I'm proud of that. I also got to focus on this crab neck because I don't want it to go off center. on, Krabby. Do the crab rave. How does crab rave go? Dun, 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 dun. How does crab rave go? I can hear it in the deep recesses of my mind. Ooh, speaking of back rooms, I really want to see that movie. Everybody's been talking about it. I wanted to see it when it came out. I haven't had a chance yet. Oh, but tomorrow's Friday. Ooh, that's a good day to go. I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Has anybody seen it yet? Have you seen the Backrooms movie? Was it good? No spoilers. That one's too new to spoil. I think Matrix 4, nobody's ever seen that. I think it's fine to spoil that movie. Nobody's ever going to see that movie. I was watching Symbol. Oh, you forgot too? Oh, you forgot. I get you. You forgot. Yeah, I was watching Symbol, and she was talking about how she should be at the end of the credits. Like, the movie ends, and then it's just her there in the back room still. And I was just picturing the end of Ferris Bueller's Day. That movie at the very end where he's in his robe and he looks into the camera and he goes, well, what are you still doing here? Go home. And I'm just picturing Sim in the back rooms, just like, you turn the corner and there she is. It's funny. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, okay. So it's not super glass bead effect. And I don't know if that's because the base layer, you see how it's trying to pull the magnet from where it was before. So I may not have run the magnet long enough. But that's okay, because I have a sneaky little trick. I have a sneaky little fix that will solve everything. So it doesn't look exactly how I want, but I have this top coat. It's called the magic effect, because of course it is. It's magic. And I'm going to put this on once this is a little bit more dry, just a little bit. And then I'm going to run it again, and it will pull it all together. Oh, you're not a movie person? Well, that's okay. Yeah. You know, everybody's got their own thing. I'm a big movie person, so I'm so sorry everybody has to hear me yammer on about whichever movie pops into my mind. Heck yeah, I remembered. I didn't even need to say it. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, I'm not proud of the mess I'm making, though. But speed is of the essence. Essence? Speed is of... How does that phrase go? Speed... Speed is a streamer on YouTube. How... There you go. I fixed it. Oh, these drums are getting to me. This is nice. So it might take longer than I think it should on this second layer, because it is activating the layer that's underneath it. So it's going to take a little extra time. So that's the thing with magnetics, is that they just happen to take a very long time to do. And that's to do it right. That's also why most people prefer not to have a funny little doohickey and instead buy the little machine that you can just put your finger under and it'll magnetize it for you. But I love whimsy. I love my crabby guy. So that's a little bit magnetized. I might be able to put it under a little bit more. Let's keep going. Let's pull the nail down. Get a different shape. Try to keep crabby going in a straight area. So I will be using this top coat on all of my nails just to pull it together. So I probably can be a little more graceful during this stage as far as time goes, because I'm going to need more time. with my top coat layer. What other movies have I seen recently? Both phrases true. Technically true. So you can really see the mess I made here. It's just from going too fast. It's all around my cuticles. I know there are plenty of artists who can paint without getting any mess. I'm not one of those artists. But I'm also not, like, that doesn't stress me to make a mess. Because I know I can always clean it up. Look like a galaxy? Yeah, I do love that galaxy look. I may have to wait to do the stamping that I wanted to do a second stream where I come back to do that, only because I have forgotten exactly how much time the magnetics themselves take, but they also need time to dry beyond this before I can do anything on top. That would include any freehand painting or any stamping at all would probably ruin these. So I'm gonna come back to that. Gotta let them all the way dry. And I've read that magnetics takes about 12 hours for them to stop like moving around on the nail because they're active. And uh-oh, I bumped my nail. Let's fix this really, really quick. I don't know if it's gonna fix it. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm making a mess. Hold on. Gotta fix my nail. Okay, I have to remagnetize this a little bit, which should help with what I am seeing. Because I want the tip of my nail to be directly underneath the crab net to get that glass bead in the right position. Yeah, what movies have I seen? What movies have I seen? You know, I've been so busy recently, which has been unusual to me. I had a period of where I wasn't so busy. And now it's just like every moment I am either keeping to my cottage, which takes a lot of work, especially when you have 3 cats and 3 dogs, chickens and bees. I have my greenhouse. I have planting tasks I need to do. So most of my day is spent doing that. And now I'm wanting to stream more. I've been trying to like compel myself to stream by only doing my nails on stream. And it's been working pretty good. I just want to get a little more time to stream faster, more opportunities. But it's difficult. I am living with a chronic illness. So I have to use my energy appropriately. So it's a bit of a, I guess everything in life is a balance. I'm working on it. Yeah, I have to wait a long time to do the stamping. Yeah, so, that's what I was saying. It takes about 24 hours total for magnetics to stop moving on the nail. You won't really notice it after 12 hours, but it's just the full curing process of a nail. A regular lacquer nail polish is about 24 hours. 12 to 24 hours. Ooh! Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, this is so galaxy. This is so galaxy. I have the glass bead on the tip right there. I was wanting it much closer to the tip, and I think I got that. And then it has focus. That galactic look on the rest of the nail. We're getting there. Okay. Now this index. I'm gonna see if I can get the painting in a better position. That's a good position. trying to go a little slower just to control the brush. Okay, cool. I'm riding spinners, I'm riding spinners, what? I'm riding spinners, I'm riding spinners, what? Yeah, I am enjoying streaming. It's nice to, you know, otherwise I would just be here in the room by myself, and it's not quite the same as having people to chat to while you're having your hobby time. I don't think I've answered that question I asked myself about movies. Other than being busy. I did watch one though, and I'm reaching back. It was Jurassic Park. It was Jurassic Park. That's a great movie. That's a very popular movie. That's because in my book club last month we read Jurassic Park. So we read the book and then we watched the movie. And it's such a classic movie. I enjoy it every time I see it. The animatronics are so timeless. They look great. There's really interesting set designs, and like there's 2D animation at one point and then animatronics in the next scene. Really thoughtful. And what's remarkable about that movie is that Spielberg, the director, we all know Spielberg, he was filming The Shawshank Redemption at the same time. Like, not like he like did one and then did the other. They were doing them at the same time. And somebody mentioned during our conversation at book club that like maybe it was relaxing for him to have that. Oh, it's the kitty song. Oh, this is such a fun song. So I think that's probably true. Like, maybe it was nice for him to be able to step away and step away from Shawshank. Not Shawshank Redemption. I said Shawshank Redemption. I meant Schindler's List, which is exponentially worse. I have seen that movie one time. And this is the wrong song to be talking about Schindler's List. This is a song about happy things. So another happy thing is these nails. They do make me happy. I'm thinking I watched Land Before Time because we included that in our monthly watch-alongs. So we watched Volcano. That's a 1996 classic. And Land Before Time and Jurassic Park. And I want to watch The Flintstones just for fun. That's the next movie I want to watch because I have a CRT with a VHS player. And I have many VHS that I collected as a child. Still, I have them. So I have some that are recorded off of TV from the 90s even. Like old... I think there's an episode of All My Children on one with the old daytime commercials. It was crazy. So those are really fun to revisit and watch and see the old commercials. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup since I have been covering my cuticles so far with this beautiful polish. Make sure I'm in frame here. Ooh, that's looking good. Look at that blue. It's very interesting to see them on the nail as opposed to in the bottle next to each other. The colors come out differently, and I'm pretty sure they have similar base colors, but they are not exactly the same. They're slightly different maroon colors, I'm pretty sure. And the gray, I'm kind of noticing how it is changing the color, the base coat gray. You probably cannot see the difference. So with magnetic polishes, you could use a black or a white base coat in different colors, and it'll change how the polish appears on the nail over the top. So gray is like the middle ground, the neutral zone. That's why I picked it. Okay, nice and clean. You can see my index and middle are both have 2 coats to them. My ring finger has 1 thick coat on it, and my pinky only has 1 thin coat. So that's a very good indicator of the different intensity you'll get with the polish with multiple layers. And you can do really fun things with the layering as well. Okay, now I'm going to try to do not too much of a thick layer on my pinky finger. So I was trying not to say. My ring finger. Just because it had such a thick base layer, I don't want to overdo it. I can go a little slower on the second layer. The first layer helps with that. The first layer is the more important one to get to be speedy, because things will take, it'll take longer to dry once you get to that second layer. The thickness. So thick. Run spinners, run spinners, what? Run spinners, run spinners, what? Okay, let's take a look. So much difference. I think I need to go for a little bit longer. It's not concentrated enough. Come on, Krabby, you can do it. And then it starts to smoothly spin. There's some ball bearings. Oh, this is so funny. This piece you can see, I don't know if I mentioned. This piece here is a fidget spinner that I repurposed. So the ball bearings, when they get going really smooth, it's so satisfying. It starts to glide. Okay, I'm gonna need to use this magic top coat on my pink ring finger, just to pull it together. You'll see how it works. It's actually very satisfying. Okay. Yeah, it's like the Minions or something. That's what this reminds me of. I think the music is about, this is the last track. I really want to put on like some early aughts, like hip hop, like Chameleon Air, some Chameleon Air. What is who does Riding Spinners? Who is that one? I'm writing spinners. I'm writing spinners. What? Okay, well, it's actually good timing because my pinky will be done here in a second. I don't want to stop spinning until I need to. I'm very tempted to just stop and get the music going. Impulse control. You can do it. You can wait. Focus on your task. This is so good for your neurons to be forced to like, you know, disconnect from your immediate impulses and be forced to focus on a task like this. I bet it's kind of like nerve gliding, but for your neurons, like neuron gliding. So nerve gliding is when you just like stretch your nerves. So like just like stretching in general will do it, but specific motions, you can do like physical therapy motions to glide your nerves. So I bet certain practices and hobbies and things is a lot like that for your mind. Ooh. Ooh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'm not going to do Magnetis on my other hand because it would take forever. I'm going to do a regular Skittle. Let's do a really quick cleanup. And then, believe it or not, there's still one more magnetic layer to do. Just one more. Two more. There's the magic top coat. And then there's the regular top coat. There's two top coats. The magic top coat will help with my pink index. No. This is the Count Chocula I was talking about. The dyscalcula. The Count dyscalcula. My pink... No. My ring finger. My ring finger needs the magic top coat. The spread on this is a little bit more than I want. I want to concentrate the magnetic particles in a more tight formation. You can see the difference between the index and the pointer in how the magnetic is concentrated. But I'd like it much closer together. So in order to do that, I'm going to use this magic top coat for magic effect. Get this open. Come on. Help. Can't do it. Oh. Try this way. I'm weak like baby. Oh, I got it. Okay. Sometimes they get like stuck because I'm neglecting to clean it. That's why, because I'm neglecting to clean it. Look at all these crusties. What are these doing here? I do admit I have gotten into really bad habit about keeping the threads on my polished bottles clean, which is like a sin, because if your threads are not clean, then the solutions, chemicals, the stuff that's in the polish will start to evaporate. So I just did a good juicy layer. I'm gonna put my nail back underneath the magnet and hope that it'll draw together. So I'm gonna give it a little time because the top coat has to bleed into the polish underneath it, so soak into the polish underneath it and reactivate it. It'll happen pretty quickly, but with two layers, and especially that really thick first layer, it might need a little extra time. But it's kind of like a little fixer-upper. What it does is it reactivates the all of the layers underneath it, since it is a different type of solution, and you can get a second chance with magnetizing. Essentially, that's what it boils down to. So I'm taking my second chance right now. I'm so excited to do my other hand. Magnet is always just, by the time you're done, you're just like, yes, I'm done. But it's so worth it. It's so pretty. They're so, the end result is worth it. And then by tomorrow, they will look completely different. The magnet particles will have spread in the night, and it won't have the same really nice effect. It'll still look really good, but that's part of the reason you want to make sure that you take the time to let the nail polish dry all the way while you're magnetizing it, so that it doesn't spread so much, because it's gonna spread overnight no matter what you do. And the tighter your magnetic effect is, the less spread you will get by the next day. Kind of thinking these red nails are closer to a burnt umber, a burnt, like an orange. Let's see how we're doing. Better? Is that better? Is it better? It's kind of better. It's a little better. Maybe I need to go longer. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you do too. That'll just set the way it does, and you know, it doesn't look terrible. It just might not be what you want. I'm starting to think that maybe what's going on here is no matter what I do, it's gonna be the way it is. So I'm kind of like desperately spinning the crab net, and it's probably not gonna do very much, but that's all right. Yeah, it's fine. It looks good. 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 Okay, so before I put the final top coat on, I want to let them sit just a little bit on their own, only because I've got a hair on this. No, I can get off of here. If I put the top coat on now, it can be a little bit too much. And there's something called, this is a terrible word. This is a really terrible word for this. It's called shrinkage, okay? It's called shrinkage. I could get shrinkage if I'm not careful. I can get shrinkage by putting too much polish on at once, and then when it dries, it'll be all crinkly and shrinking. So you don't want that. So that is the benefit that magnetic lacquer provides, is it's so slow that the polish kind of dries in a uniform fashion, but by the end they're still looking pretty plump, they're still looking pretty thick. And if I'm not careful and I do too much, the evaporates won't have a chance to escape, and then it'll shrink. It'll get all wrinkly and shrinked. So here's my thumb. And this is almost like a sunset effect, because it's just like on the very tip. So I'm wondering if I can get that to pull a little bit down with this special effects top coat. So I'm gonna reactivate this one. I did put quite a lot of polish on my thumb, because there was a little, I bumped it. There was a little accident I had. So I did a third coat. So this technically has 3 coats on it. I try to avoid doing 3 coats on my nails, because 3 coats of magnetic polish specifically, because there's gonna be some misalignment in your magnetizing, unless you have a very specific machine where you're just putting your nail in at the same exact spot every time. My system is chaos, and I'm fine with that. I like the chaos. It's fun to see the different effects and try different things and get weird results. But, you know, it's true, though, that your positioning will be different each time. So if you get to 3 layers, that's 3 layers that you need to ensure the alignment on the magnetizing, or else it'll just be really muddled and the magnetic particles will be all over the place. I try to avoid it, but it's not gonna, I mean, it's fine. This top coat is definitely the solution when you have too many layers like this. Ooh, spinnies. All right, I'm ready to be done spinning. Oh, I think that helped. I think that helped. I just wanted it a little bit more because it's, like I said before, it's gonna spread overnight. And now when I'm facing the nail straight on, you can still get a decent effect. It's not all hidden. It does remind me of like a sunset. It's so pretty. On a real dark, like stormy, spooky night. Yeah. Okay, so those are gonna sit and Krabby's gonna go away. Well, let's pull these. Just like that. Please don't fall. And I don't need the stamping plates today, because I'm gonna stamp over the top of these nails when I come back to them. Hopefully tomorrow. Maybe go see the Backrooms movie and then do some really late night nails. Really late night nails. Or if I don't have the time for it, it'll be Saturday. That's fine. I'm back Saturday. And I want to do some illusionary designs over the top, which will be really fun. So you'll get these 2-layer of an optical effect with the glass bead and these little illusionary designs. I'm gonna get some water 1 second. One of the most difficult things after you've done your nails is not bumping them and not messing them up. Especially really thick and juicy nails like these ones. Okay, let's take a look at what we have next. I've got some pink and greens, and I want to do a Skittle. Let's see, layer these down so we can decide on our Skittle, how we're gonna orient it. I kind of like that. Or we could go blue, multi-chrome, green. Pinks on the 2 sides with the blue in the middle is pretty good. But then you gotta know that one of these is going to be your thumb. So having your thumb... Yeah, that's a good orientation. So we could do pink on the pinky. Like this. And then ring finger will be the reflective. We'll just do this regular blue in the middle. Then this pink is a flaky pink, so it's slightly different with the multi-chrome on my thumb. And that's what I mean by I like to kind of plan as I go. Okay, I am going to take a little quick break. And then I'm going to be back to get started on my right hand, my second hand. See you soon. Hello, chat. Hey, I'm back. Reggie, are you having a good time over there in the corner by yourself? You want to come over here with me, or what's going on? It's like he's coming over. He's coming on over. You gonna come and hang out over here? Okay, so this next hand is gonna be so much easier than the other hand. Oh, I can do that? Oh, I'm gonna hook this out of the way. Oh, that is so much better. Ooh, I could do some funky tips with another color. That might be too crazy. That might be too crazy. Keep it simple. Okay. Try to shake this without shaking everything. Shake it! Shake it! Ah, bellissimo! Okay, they all need to be shaken. I have a vortex mixer. It's just over the horizon. But it would actually shake everything. So I am the vortex. I am the one in the void. Arriba, arriba! Oh, I think I already shook this one. Alright, let me read off the polishes that I'm using. And in fact, I want to make sure I name the other polishes I was using as well. Because these are Kathleen and Co. These two magnetics that I used specifically are from the same brand. And let's take a look at where these come from. I'm pretty sure these are both, yep, these are both Pahlish pickups. So Pahlish Pickup is its own company. They run a website where they sell polish every month from different indie brands. So you can find all different kinds of polishes to buy. And both of these I've gotten through there. Lacquer polish can be bought on the maker's own website. So Kathleen and Co. will have their own website. They do have their own website where you can go to buy, you know, if whatever they have in stock. Sometimes they have specific releases. So it really just depends on the maker. Some makers only keep their websites open during a certain window when they're selling, like when they have the polish available. And then once they're sold out or they are just taking a pre-order, then they'll close their website. So they're not always like open, quote unquote. And that's why polish pickups and sometimes can be cool, because you can find polishes from certain makers when their shops are closed or off season. A lot of the times polish is sold seasonally. Like Halloween and Christmas are really big times for the polish industry. I'm gonna try to get a nicer shot for this. I'm so proud of my left hand for coming as far as it has painting. I am not innately ambidextrous, but I have learned the skill over the past 5 or so years, I guess, really, when I started practicing nail polish art. So I would say I kind of grade myself as like 75% ambidextrous, which is still pretty good. That's significantly more than nothing, right? But it's not perfect. Like just there, I made a little, I didn't get it the way I wanted. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with it. Okay, one nail. See, wasn't that significantly faster than this method? That's how she goes. But this is only one coat. It's nice and blue and shimmery, but you can see that with only one coat there is patchiness. It's not ready to be done. Alright, so I'm gonna do different polish for each nail. And I love this one. So we actually have a Pahlish. That's the brand. P-A-L-I-S-H, Pahlish. And this is the multi-chrome. This one is called Blue Period, off of Picasso's Blue Period, I'm pretty sure. And this is also a polish pickup collection. Now, Picasso, I just gotta let you know, he was kind of a piece of shit. Picasso was kind of a piece of shit, okay? Don't tell anybody, but he was not a good guy. Picasso is a woman abuser. Like, man, most of the men from the past were women abusers. Anyway, this is a Vanessa Molina. This very pretty pink, reflective, flaky polish. And she has also been canceled, actually. I'm just remembering. This is called Heart and Soul. But apparently this maker is racist. A racist. So take that information as you will. How about that? How about that? But I bought it in the past before everybody knew this stuff, so it doesn't matter. What am I supposed to do about it? I don't do that stuff anymore. The thing about my left hand is it is so much more likely to make a mess when painting. So let's clean it up. That's okay. My left is Lore. My right is Lore and my left is Lore. I feel like one of those people who like have the two sides of their brain that can talk to each other. They're like independent. But I wish the left-handed side of my brain was better at math and numbers. It's not that good. But at least I can paint with it. I have a deep side wall on this pointer finger that can make it difficult to get it clean. Okay, so this is a good brand. This is a good brand to buy from. I highly recommend this brand. The owner, her name is Jackie, and this is the brand Fancy Gloss. They come in these really nicely sized large bottles. This is 15 milliliters. And this one is called Lake Serpent. She sells monthly, I'm pretty sure. So her polish is almost always available to buy. Not necessarily at polish pickup. Bumping my nails all the time, man. Gotcha. Ooh, they come with these really nice wide paddles on the polish brush. I prefer this brush size. It's much easier to apply with a wide brush than a skinny brush. Even though it's important to develop those skinny brush skills. And you know, your left hand, my left hand would just shake all over the place with a skinny brush. So there is a remarkable difference. This bee's knees lacquer is so pretty. It's so pretty. Just so bright and blue and happy. It might stand out next to this green and pink. That could be nice. But after this, I want to go play The Witch's Bakery. I just got the demo downloaded, so I'll need to take a short break. Not right now, in a bit. probably 15 minutes, half an hour. And I will move over to the desk where I can play the game. I'm gonna feel so recharged. I'm gonna get myself a soda. Having fresh nails is always just so empowering. It feels so good to be fresh. Okay, now this is the last one. So this blue bee's knees lacquer is actually called the Dragon and the Magpie, which is perfect because both dragons and magpies are little goblins, little hoarders. And then this very last polish is another fancy gloss, and this one is pink orchid. And I find that painting my pinky is a little bit difficult only because it's somewhat small compared to my other nails. I usually make a mess. Trying not to make a mess. Go slow. Nope. Ah, c'est la vie. Shogunai. Oh, and that's the other thing. You need to make sure you angle your hands enough so you can make sure you're covering all of your nail when you're painting. Gotta make sure I'm doing that. This is what we got going on so far. Kind of a chaotic. It's like chaotic, but it almost vibes. It almost vibes. Especially with this galaxical, galaxial, galaxy-like nails. Uh-oh. Stuck my finger to my nail, actually. Just have a little bit of glitter nails. I don't mind glitter nails. All right, see where I bumped it. Don't worry, easy fix. Just do a little patch. And I'm gonna leave it so that it'll soak into the layer below it before I put the next layer on. Okay, so back to my thumb. We're back to start. I'm wondering if 2 coats will be enough for this. I'm hoping it will be. 2 coats is usually enough for most nail polish. Gotta make sure to turn the nail to get a good perspective. I'm kind of doing a thick second coat so I don't have to do a third coat. And I'm done. I think I'm done. Am I done? Now I'm done. Oh, that's great. I actually think that will look very similar to what's on my middle finger. Ooh, go to my middle finger. These, yeah, look at that. Those two look very similar. These are 2 different polish, though. Very similar. Let's finish up that middle finger so we can see that comparison better. I'm locked in. I'm locking in. Yes. I've done it. Ooh. That looks so nice. Oh, I love green. Okay, let's look at them together. Yeah. I'm just looking. Looking. Okay, I've looked. Let's finish this up. Got some pink from me pointer. A brand that shall not be named. Much brighter. But I do think that this one will need 3 coats. So it's not quite as pink as I'd like it to be. It could be brighter. That might be the fault of the gray base, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But it is recommended to wear, I mean, I guess a white base coat, not necessarily a gray base coat. Because then a white base coat will make any kind of a neon color pop more. So we'll do 3 on my finger. Probably only need 2 on my ring finger. Count Chocula, you've done it again. Turn my nail. See that sidewall? All right. So yeah, that's gonna be good. The thing about reflectives is that they dry kind of crunchy. So all those glorious, beautiful particles are gonna dry kind of textured and crunchy. And I'm gonna need extra top coat to make sure that there isn't a grainy sand texture on the nail. So you don't really want to do more than like 2. Yeah, they're so pretty. You don't really want to do more than 2 reflective coats, I think, just because of the crunchiness. It'll get kind of sandy. The blue is like, I'm a moth to the flame with this blue. It is so bright and gorgeous. And the way it shimmers. Reflectives are great. It's just the sandiness that can be a little obnoxious. They're looking good together. I like it. I like how it's coming together. This green is spectacular. I gotta say, I don't really see too much of the multi-chrome purple, because you're supposed to be able to see a bit of purple on this side. And I'm not really sure it comes through, to be honest. Maybe a little bit in the bottle. Like if we look at the bottle, the darker shadows around the edges is more purplish and oil slick-like in person. But I'm guessing that it's not powerful enough to come across on the nail, because it barely comes across on the bottle. But the green itself is great. It's beautiful by itself. So I'm not really bothered. I'm pleased, but let's see, what do we have left? Oh, Pinky. Yes, almost forgot you, Pinky. Okay, let me get myself in position here. No matter what I do, I'm gonna make a mess on this Pinky. It's fine. It's just so small. To get an even application, especially with big brushes, you kind of have to go. Get green, get green. Green is like the best color. Green and teal. I think I love them both equally. I always say I would choose teal over green if I had to. If I had to. But I often gravitate towards green. It's much easier to clean up lacquer polish when it is wet as well. You don't really want it to dry on your cuticle too much, or else it'll be harder for the brush to pick it up when you're cleaning it off of there. Voila! Okay, And then this third layer, just this last third layer here. Just a little bit of extra. So this polish, the reason that happens is just it might be a little sheer in the bottle, or I might have used it and then added a thinner and solution to bring it back to life. And when you do that, you know, some of the pigment has been displaced by use over time, so it'll never come back to full life. But you can add thinner to an old polish and make it liquid again, and then be able to use it. That's how I got my very old 26-year-old polish. This one brought it back to life by adding solution and thinner. And a polish will never fully die. The effects can start to fade, or something can go wrong with the polish. I'm glad you're learning a lot. Like that hollow polish I showed is kind of losing its effect. There's also polishes called thermal polishes that react based on heat or cold. So they're like temperature based. So the colors show up based on what temperature your nails are. Kind of like a mood ring. But the pigment that is used to make that effect will die over time. It's usually between 6 months to a couple of years. And I like those. I have quite a number of thermal polishes. I really should wear them more often because they will die eventually. So more streams so I can use my thermal polishes. That would be a fun one. I should write that down. Going through all of my thermal polishes and seeing which ones are still alive, and like charting based on age how they've like faded over time and which brands are still holding up. That sounds really interesting to me. Okay, I am looking for my top coat now. I pronounce that because if you don't pronounce top coat clearly, then it sounds like taco. Top coat, taco. Top coat, taco. Top coat, taco. Same, taco. 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 So you have to really enunciate top coat, or else it sounds weird. Okay, so this is not this brand that's in here. This is a refill of top coat. Top coat is just a form of like a clear lacquer, and it helps seal it in. This is looking really sticky too. Might need some more. So I waited to apply this to the nails with magnetics because it will also reactivate the polish underneath it. It does that no matter what it does because it's a liquid. And it'll move the magnetics. So usually I run my nails underneath the magnet one more time after applying top coat. But this time, I think it's all right because I'm going to be looking for the spread of the magnetic as it dries anyway. And, excuse me. So I think it's all right. So I don't need to run it underneath the magnetic at this point. Especially since I used the magnetic top coat on a couple other nails. And this stuff is, like I said, is looking thick. Like I need to refresh it or put some thinner in. This is the least interesting part, to be completely honest, because it's clear, so you're not going to be able to see any change. It is just for protective purposes to seal it in. If you don't add a top coat to your lacquer nail polish, it will dent. And like if you just did your nails and then you went to sleep without putting a top coat on your nail polish, it'll get all wrinkly from like your mattress and your blankets and things, because it'll stay soft. It won't get hard. That's what she said. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Yeah, it without the top coat, the polish won't cure. It has to cure with the top coat layer. And so I'm just getting the acetone and cleaning up the sides where there's little pigments and lacquer spillage and all of that. It's really best practice to kind of just be a little bit messy with your top coat and make sure that it gets on your side walls and everywhere, because you really want it to fully seal in your nail polish. So it doesn't really matter if you have to clean it up in the end. It's actually a little bit helpful to be a little bit messy. And you know, usually you have to clean every nail after applying polish anyway, unless you're like an extremely meticulously clean nail polish applier. I mean, those people exist. It's just not me. But this is my method. And I've heard there's actually a spectrum of cleanliness to messiness when applying nail polish. It's interesting. There's a Brazilian method that involves applying the nail polish over your entire nail and cuticle, just making a real big mess and then cleaning it up afterwards. So in this method, and that's not to say all Brazilian nail polish does it this way, it's only one specific method. But in their method, they just make a big mess and then they clean it all up around the cuticles. Position myself a little better here so you can see the mess I'm making. Okay, this one is a little bit of a less of a mess because now I'm focusing. But it's gonna be on my skin. You see like a little bit of wetness around the edges of my cuticles, and then I'm just gonna clean that up because there's a gap between your cuticle and the nail polish when you're painting. Just this tiniest little bit of gap. Let me see if I can try to focus. I don't think I can get that close. There's the tiniest gap left. That's just your nail. Your base layer nail. And that is intentional because it's going to be impossible to get it perfectly on your cuticle. I mean, you can get it pretty close. I think I do a good job getting it pretty close. And that gap is important to protect because that's where the nail polish meets the nail. So by using the acetone and cleaning up the top coat around the edges of your nails, you're sealing the top coat onto the nail, and it'll just help protect everything. In addition to making it extra shiny, because it does add some extra shininess. Like look how juicy those look. It's crazy. Right, pinky. Ooh, this is a gooey top coat. It might be time for a new one actually, and I think I've run out of thinner, or not thinner, replacement extra. I'm like on the very last of my top coat additive. What I usually do is just keep an empty bottle, and then I refill it with top coat. So I wait for a sale, and then I'll buy like this little container. This is usually the brand I buy from, Glisten and Glow. And you can just get like a little fill like this. So that's pretty much all I have left. And then I'll just refill my bottle. Okay, that is one hand done. I need to take a really quick break. I'm just going to step away from the computer. I will be right back. I am. All right, and then there is one last thing you can do after top coat, and that is apply this drying spray. It's also sold in drying drops. Various brands have this. This one is Baroness X, and this stuff I'm gonna apply it in like 1 or 2 minutes because I want the top coat to finish its very first cure, which will only take like 5 minutes or so, where the evaporates start to solidify and there's a shell forming. So before that shell forms, it's gonna be too liquid to apply these drying drops. If I did, it would affect the chemistry and make it, I don't know, it's just better to wait. Sticky maybe. So in the meanwhile, I will go ahead and put my top coat on my right hand. Do you like how I had to think which hand this was? That's what I'm saying. And I'm the navigator when I'm in the car with the bear and he's driving. I'll be navigating and then I'll be like giving directions, and every single time I have to try to remember. I will tell him the wrong direction. I have to remember which is left and which is right. It's such a random, like, I don't know if you would even call it an issue. It's just like a random thing to have. Because I don't really have dyslexia. I just have dyscalculia. And they're different things, so. I have Count Chocula. Not too bad to be a breakfast cereal. Okay, so you can see on this hand, I'm doing all my nails instead of cleaning after every single one. It doesn't matter which way you do it. It doesn't matter. I switch it up. Sometimes I'll do one at a time. I mean, this is my other hand, so it has different ideas than my right hand does. It does different things. That's why I'm like, I'm two-brained. Lena, singing the cleanup song. Singing the cleanup song. And sometimes when you make a mess, it's hard to get all of the pigments off when you're going around your cuticles to do the tidying phase. And I love that because sometimes the pigments just stay on your finger, like glitter just stays, and it's kind of like having fairy fingers. It's like having magic fingers. It'll come off after I wash my hands a few times or take a shower. It really doesn't matter if it's on your skin. It's very different from gel polish. It's purely aesthetic. It's purely technique. The only problem is if you're like super duper duper messy and you just have polish all over your cuticles and it's not clean at all, then yes, you will have a problem with sealing the polish in, because you do need to have that gap in order to properly seal it with the top coat like I am doing now. And if you had polish all over your cuticle that was like kind of like layering over it, then that whole area will probably chip once your nail plate starts to grow, because it's gonna separate from where it's stuck on the cuticle and like chip and break apart, and it'll just act funky. It'll be funky times. Getting so close I can taste it. I can taste the polish. Have you ever tasted polish? I have. It's not flavorful. It's not a good idea to lick your polish. You can lick your polish if you need to fix a dent, though, at this stage. So, like, literally, if I accidentally bumped this nail I could lick it to fix it. I could lick it, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna lick it. I won't lick it, I promise. Oh, I did that one. I did that one. It is good. It is good to stick to one method in case you forget which method you're using. Go back and forth. Double top coat this nail by accident. Normalize wearing your witch's cape whenever you want. Like right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm wearing my cape. It's keeping me warm. Uh-oh. What is that? What is that? Get off. Oh my goodness. I need like a stick. What is that? It's like a little lake on my nail. No, you're not supposed to be there, buddy. Get off. Fixed. You sure that is good? Pretty sure that's good. So now it's been a couple minutes. I finished. On the other hand, I can apply my drying spray. You only need like 1 or 2 spritzes. And it acts like an oil. It's kind of like an oil. It's like one final protectant. And what it does is helps whatever pigment is supposed to evaporate get out of there evenly. So it just helps with even drying and making sure that like you don't get bubbles as your nail polish dries. Looking good. Looking nice. Let's take a look at the right hand. Ooh, the way that shines though. Wow. Let's see. Let's do some cool poses. Cool poses. Do need to spray the drying drops on this hand, but has it been long enough? Maybe? It'll be fine. Best practice is to wait. Nothing bad's gonna happen if you don't. I'm pleased. I'm pleased. You know, I had a bit of a scuff when I got started. Just because I was having internet issues when we got started with our box painting. But, you know, we've pushed through. We've pushed through. Come out the other side. Some beautiful nails. That's the classic salon pose where they do this. But turned around. They do it turned around. That's funny. Need to take some photos now. Get in my light box.